Hey, I'm glad you're here. So, I wanted to do this message. I wonder how many of you have been asking yourselves, will this ever get any better? And I just felt really strongly called to do a pick a card on this topic. So, why don't we sit together with Spirit and find out what Spirit has to say on this? And so there are 3 piles. Pile number 1 with power, pile number 2 with play, and pile number 3 with courage. I'll see you over there. Hey, pile number 1. So you felt drawn to the power card with this ram here. Aries. So let's see if we can find out more information about your situation and what Spirit would like to tell you with regard to it. Is it ever going to get any better, right? Well, let's find out what Spirit has to say. Let's see. Why don't we pull a few more oracle cards first? Will it ever get any better, Spirit? Let's talk with pile 1 about their situation. We have generosity. I think this one popped. Good luck. Auspicious, wishes granted, blessings. That's nice to hear. Let's do one more oracle deck here. I felt called to this deck. Darling, don't you remember? You're a badass. Keep winging it. The fairy, with blessings, flow, and magical energy. I think Spirit is just really wanting to come in and encourage you so much. Like, wow. I feel emotional here because it's like, you know, whatever situation you're going through, there's this real sense of Spirit really being behind you in it. Like, you know, with this generosity card, Spirit, you know, getting ready to shower you with blessings. And I think that, you know, right, like, will it ever get any better? You feel like, okay, well, when is that showering ever going to happen? Like, I've been, you know, hanging in there, right? I've been doing my best. I've been trying to be positive, and I'm not seeing any of that coming through. You know, where is heaven's generosity? Where are my blessings? Where is my good luck? So let's dive in a little deeper then. You know, where is pile one's good luck? Clearly, it seems like heaven is promising wishes granted, many blessings. Blessings come twice. Blessings, generosity, power, you know, is this power referring to the power within you that's you've yet to connect to? A gift of energy from heaven that helps to ignite your power? Let's dive in a little deeper here. Let's do these cards. Do some tarot here. So, Spirit, can we get more information about Pile 1 and their situation? And why it seems you're promising good fortune, but they haven't seen it yet? This one's really sticking out like that. Super flew out over here. Okay. Page of Swords, the Emperor, the Knight of Cups, and then we have these two. Let's see what they are. Ten of Wands, and then the Empress. Let's see. The Emperor and the Empress. The Emperor and the Empress almost feel like deities, like heavenly beings, your spirit guides. The Emperor's just happening the way that I ended up setting it up to cover up this Ten of Wands. You know, there's definitely a feeling, right, that you feel really burdened. And yet, you know, we saw with those oracle cards that, you know, it really looks like Spirit's got your back. You know, Spirit believes in you. Spirit calls you a badass. Blessings flow. Magical energy. You know, sometimes when we're in a situation where it feels like impossible to get out of, you know, it would take a miracle. That's kind of why the conditions of that situation are that way. To create that miracle. Miracles require a certain set of conditions and your faith for them to come into being, to be realized over your situation. And I just feel like this Page of Swords is you. You know, you're seeking the information. You don't really know what you're doing, but you're doing your best. And your spirit guides, your spirit team, and heaven itself, right? Kind of like the masculine and feminine that is God, is supporting you on your journey with what you're doing. You know, sort of surrounding this Knight of Cups, which is an indication of blessings that have to do with what would fill up your heart coming in. And even though it feels like, yeah, I mean, you've been hanging in there and it doesn't really seem like anything's changing, and it doesn't seem like anything's getting better, no matter how positive you're trying to be, it's just still the same old, you know, crap every day, and you don't see anything. Those kind of conditions, provided that you stay determined and full of trust. And I do think that that's probably why we have this power card here. You know, ignite the power within you in this situation to hold fast. Keep seeking the truth and the information that you need. Don't give in to how the conditions appear. And even though that may not seem encouraging in the moment, there's so much empowerment gained and the delights of experiencing the miracle when you stand in your power, ignite that power through determination, and sort of ignore or not allow your outer conditions to be that important. You know, you're going to just keep going because you need it to get better. You have this idea in mind that you know could come about, and probably for your situation should come about. You are burdened. There is something heavy that you're carrying. But even though this looks like the moon, still her whole area is illumined. She's not in the dark. Sure, she's carrying a heavy load. And so even though you feel burdened and tired, your situation is navigatable, right? You can navigate this. You can see, you can seek, and your spirit team is assisting you, even though for sure it doesn't seem like you can really tell. It doesn't really show up in your day-to-day that they're helping you. And a lot of the help can go unnoticed. Maybe the help that they offer you is so like slight or small, you're not really noticing that as actual help. You're like, oh, well, I got this idea. Or, oh, look, what a beautiful cloud formation. Oh, a cute little squirrel crossed my path. Like, how is that help, right? But when we shift our attitude toward looking at everything as being a blessing, as being magical, as being a gift from God, that helps with holding fast, with holding that determination that you will see better times, that this situation will get better. And, if it helps writing down the tiny things that felt like a blessing, maybe that could be, something just to remind you, like, okay, yeah, like the general aspect of my situation does not seem like it's improving, but, this little thing happened. I smiled when this thing occurred. That was nice. Just to hold yourself steady, just to encourage yourself not to give up, because the conditions for a miracle to occur are upon you. And as long as you keep the faith and hold fast your focus, your determination, and that's really kind of what this child looks like, is a focused and determined child who is still, we can see, there's a little butterfly and there's all these beautiful flowers. And it's like they're in the moment, presently enjoying where they're at. He has his eyes closed, dancing as though on air. This idea of embracing what he has, where he's at, with that focused determination to keep learning, to keep growing, and to achieve, a better day, to find that better day. The light is coming down, which kind of indicates, we saw that with the Ten of Wands, that you're well on your way to to experiencing these blessings that your oracle cards implied, right? Good luck, wishes granted, blessings, blessings. You know, and this card talks about flow. And, you know, we actually kind of see that with the Knight of Cups, you know, being cups. That idea of entering into the flow of God. That's kind of what this character is in. A suspended state of flow. Like he's within this flow of the light, allowing himself to be moved where that flow takes him. And he's holding the sword, right? He's holding fast to the truth, to the information that he needs. He's looking there. He's holding it strong. But he's allowing the flow of what is to occur. Because in that flow, the right energy, the kind of energy that can create a miracle, is established and can begin to expand and grow. Your spirit team is definitely supporting you in this. So, will it ever get any better? Absolutely. And I think the fact that your oracle cards came out so like strongly positive, generosity, power, keep winging it, blessings are coming, good luck is on the horizon. Like, it's definitely your spirit team coming in saying, hey, you're clearly a badass. Hang in there. This is going to turn around. Simplify your heart and mind like a child. Look at where the blessings are and remind yourself of it. Look at what could be beautiful and lovely, and hold fast to that so that your vibration is high, even in a situation that you really would like to see change. And you will see it change. And I want to encourage you that worrying about the timing is only going to keep you in a low vibration. Focusing more on the little blessings that you do get to experience is going to make this happen much faster, because you'll be in the right vibration to bring it about. So don't worry when it's going to happen. There are blessings around you. Heaven is supporting you. You've got a strong team here. So count that. Let that be what you see instead of what isn't working out. So remember, You've got the power. You're a badass. Good luck is on the horizon. And so are blessings and the generosity of heaven. So hang in there. Keep your chin up. It's going to get better. So I hope this little message brought you some comfort for your journey. And I will see you next time. Hey, pile number 2. So you felt drawn to the play card. And we're talking about, will this ever get any better? And so let's kind of take a look at your situation and see what Spirit would like to tell you about it. Let's do some oracle cards. Number 2. What is going on with them? What would you like to say? Okay. Oh, that's cool. Good luck showed up in pile number 1 as well. So good luck returning. And the Hagstone. We've got auspicious, wishes granted, blessings, spiritual journey, growth, renewal, and healed, as well as energy shield, protection, and inner strength. It almost seems like with your situation, whatever you're going through, you really need to protect your energy. And with this play card, it's kind of an indication of find a way to, be lighthearted. Find some time to yourself or with people that you feel really safe with to just play and have a bit of lighthearted fun. And there's also a really important message of get the information that you need to figure out how to protect your energy. I think that's really important, especially because we see here spiritual journey and growth. What you're going through is a part of your spiritual journey, and it's here to help you grow. There's also renewal and healed, almost like you entered into this situation to resolve, achieve some kind of renewal within yourself, within your life, resolve some pain and injuries, in order so that you could grow, in order for this spiritual journey. Oh, actually it's a spiral journey. But I still, I'll still go with as well, because it makes sense together. The spiritual journey is like a spiral. Absolutely. And it's a spiraling upward where each step you take, even though it may seem like, oh, I'm just going in circles, it's lifting you up higher and higher. And that's what this growth is all about. Um, we are put in certain situations, and yeah, like, a lot of times they're karmic. But regardless, everything about our existence is to grow. We see that in our bodies, we see that in our schooling, our education, and so of course we would see that in our spiritual journey as well. And so you being in this situation, yeah, there's some things that you need to do. You need to protect yourself. You need to find a way to, and really play is the answer. How you protect your energy from external energies that constantly bring you down is through the light-hearted energy of play. And when you can find the way to bring that into your life in some way throughout the day, you're protecting your energy from those external forces that would drag you down. And a lot of times, maybe it doesn't even seem external. It can seem internal. It can seem like, oh, it's my own thoughts. Oh, it's all these memories that I'm having. But they don't have to be yours. You don't have to define yourself by what you think or by the memories that come up, or by how you feel. Right? Because you can choose who you are, irregardless of, thoughts in your head. You can choose to not agree with those thoughts. You don't have to just believe them because they entered into your mind. And while that's challenging, especially when energy is attached, right? And that's why protection is so important for you. When energy is attached to, like strong energy is attached to thoughts or feelings that you're going through, you can definitely feel like that's reality. Energy is hard to pinpoint, and it will seem like reality, even while it's not. And in finding ways to protect yourself, to keep yourself in the protective bubble of light energies that bring you joy and simplicity and freedom, you can begin to see how those heavier energies aren't the truth. And you don't have to comply with them when they come up. And that can be really difficult at first. And maybe that's why, you're like, will this ever get any better? Because you're being bombarded with heavy, heavy, dense, dark energies constantly harassing you and making you feel upset and scared and sad. And you just want it to end. But there is good luck coming your way. And I think that Spirit wanted to bring this message to you today to encourage you that, hey, it's a challenge to have to sit there and try to protect your energy from all of this dense sort of attack that you feel you're under. But it is going to get better. Even while right now, maybe you've been at this for a while and you're not seeing the light of day. You're not seeing the light at the end of the tunnel. Be encouraged, because this reading is telling you good luck is on its way. The freedom from this, burden is on its way. And, reminding yourself that this is all about growth and all about, healing and renewing yourself and finding ways to, bring in that energy of play into your life will help you stay strong. Let's get some tarot and see what more Spirit would like to tell you. Okay. What more would you like for pile number 2 to know, Spirit? Okay. So we got 8 of Swords, the 9 of Cups. Let me just move it over like this, maybe 8. Ace of Pentacles, 6 of Swords, and King of Cups. Yeah, I mean, I really get this. When you're being bombarded with negative energy and you're wanting to get out of it and, stand in the light of day, you just end up feeling tied up and, helpless. Yeah. In this card, in the reflection, she has her eyes open. Okay, so this is an indication of don't pay attention too much to your outer situation or any of those thoughts and feelings and energies that are coming at you. Keep your eyes fixed on, what fills you up, what brings you hope, excitement, joy. The 9 of Cups is the card of wish fulfillment. And when you put your focus and your attention on those precious wishes that you want to see fulfilled, instead of on all the torment that's going on around you that you're experiencing right now, and it's tough. I know, that's why you're here. When will this ever end? Keeping your focus there, right? We talk about the energy of play, we talk about protecting yourself. Well, one of the ways, along with cultivating the energy of play to protect your energy, is to just keep your eyes stayed and fixed on what brings you joy, your hope, what lights you up. And even if you are feeling bound up, hey, there are butterflies here, okay? Right? Didn't we see that with, this spiral journey, this growth? What you're going through is okay, is beneficial, even while it's kind of upsetting. And so when we close our eyes to it and we say, this isn't harmful, this isn't huge, I'm putting my attention where I want to put my attention, because I'm not going to let this be, I'm not going to let this have control over me. I'm not going to let this be so big that it's like it rules over my life. I'm choosing to diminish it, to make it small, so that there's this process of growth. Because when you step into your authority, your power, and decide for yourself what you're going to think, what you're not going to think, what you're going to put up with, what you're not going to put up with, where you're going to put your focus and where you're not, it establishes a whole new way of living. You see that with the Ace of Pentacles. And so with this, it's kind of saying, establish a new way of living, and it will steadily take you away from all that turmoil, away from all that suffering, and dense, heavy energy and energetic attacks that you've been having to battle with for so long, and bring you into this place of power, place of emotional balance and harmony, where once you were bound up, now you're completely free in a position of power where that kind of energy cannot touch you anymore. You cannot be bound up by it, get upset by it, become afraid from its threats. Right? You've grown. And even though it's hard right now and you want it to end, encourage yourself that this is all a part of your spiritual journey and your growth, your healing path that is going to leave you stronger in the end. And there has to be an end. You can't keep going down this road forever, no matter how long it's been. It will come to an end. That's inexorable. You can count on that. And so steadying yourself, keeping your focus on what you do love, what brings you joy, what gives you that sense of play, standing your ground, protecting yourself from that energy and not letting it rule your life. All of that is the point of what you're going through. And walking this, when you come out of it, you're going to say, that was a worthy experience because of who I am now. Now I feel stronger. I'm connected to my sense of authority and empowerment. I feel like I can face anything. And it's not just instantly going to cut me down and terrorize me into a state of, weakness and disempowerment and fear. Now I can stand and I can face whatever comes my way. And you want to be able to do that. You want to be able to come to a place in life where things aren't so devastating when they happen, because life is full of the unknown. You can't get away from that. You can't escape it. But when you use the difficult situations that you go through as a way to strengthen and empower yourself, to help yourself grow and evolve, essentially, when those things from the unknown suddenly pop up into your life, you're not thrown and you're not devastated, because you achieved the tools that were needed to handle it. And I know that it's never easy when you're going through a really hard time, and it is hard, and you want to cry every day. It's not easy to hear, oh, this is a good thing. But being able to sit into your own authority and choose to recognize where it is good, where it can benefit you, absolutely changes the whole experience. Suddenly you're living in a whole new way than you ever have before. And that new way is how you can escape from the torment that you're going through right now and never have to be under its thumb, under its rule ever again. So, no, it's not easy what you're going through, but it is teaching you a new way to live. And that in and of itself is the hugest blessing you could ever have. So will it get any better? Hell yeah, it will. It will forever. As you shift the way that you live and the way that you approach life, choosing to see and to look at what matters to you, what brings you joy, what makes your heart light and fun and playful. You will never have to be under the burden of these energies and heavy things that you're facing ever again. So, you, my friend, are creating your good luck. I just noticed they're the same colors. Does that pick up? That is so cool. So, by you focusing on what is important to you, what brings you joy, you are creating that good luck, that good fortune, that auspicious time where no longer do you have to bear these burdens and suffer under this torment that you're going through right now, ever again. These three cards are such similar colors, and they're indicating to you the joy and the hope that is on its way to you. Such deep joy and power is on its way to you because of the situation that you're facing. And so we say use this situation as much as you can. And look, if you need to, fall on the floor and cry your eyes out, do it. And then recall what makes you laugh, what makes you smile. Don't give up on that. Don't let yourself spiral downward. Let yourself spiral upward. That's the new approach to life that this situation is trying to ignite in you. The new approach that brings you into sovereignty over your emotions and your experiences. It may feel like slow going, but look at it as life. The more you trust yourself, the more it doesn't really matter how fast this shift comes in. Because this situation is actually benefiting you. And as you keep putting one foot in front of the other, choosing to change the way that you approach your life, you know that you're going to see the results eventually. And they're going to be deep, because they're going to be grounded deep within you from your choice to establish them. Every moment. Every moment that you had to face that heavy energy, those burdens that you've got to deal with, and you choose to keep your heart light. You are grounding in within yourself a whole new way of living and good fortune that will present itself. You can be sure of that. So, I hope that encouraged you to stay steady and stay strong. I believe in you. And it's actually really exciting to see the new kind of life that you could start living from this situation. So thank you so much for joining me, and I'll see you next time. Okay, welcome, pile number 3. You felt drawn to this courage card, this beautiful lion. Fire energy. Clearly fiery. The card is destroyed. Okay, let's get some more information. Let's get some oracle cards here and see about your situation, what Spirit would like to tell you. Pile number 3. Pile number 3. What's going on with pile number 3? What would you like to tell them, Spirit? Oh, shit. Ambition. I just looked at the back of the deck and beauty and then confidence came out. Which really goes in line with the courage card. So we're talking about that feeling of, will this ever get any better? Let me get another card. This clearly looks like this has to do with something that you're, like an endeavor that you're trying to chase after, and beauty and confidence are tied in with it. Maybe you don't feel beautiful enough to go after this. And maybe that is like a hit on your confidence, which just keeps that spiral of you not being able to take the courage to go after this. And so you think, well, is it ever going to get any better? Am I ever going to be beautiful enough? Am I ever going to be confident enough to go after this or succeed in this? You know, maybe you've tried and been rejected and it really hit you hard, which it would. Let's see what else Spirit wants to tell you. Okay, would you like pile number... Oh my god. That was instant. Be patient, it will come. Manifestation, power, and 1111. That's so sweet. Hold on, what's on the back of that deck? Stay open to the good and beautiful things. Magic mushroom miracles, fairy energy, and opening up. Yeah. Beauty. All right, let's get some tarot to get some more information about your situation. Okay. What can you tell us, Spirit, about pile number 3 situation? What they'd like to know. What they need to know. Oh my god. Yeah. Man, your cards are all over the place today. I just fell on the floor. Hold on. Okay, so we have Judgment. The Hanged Man was on the floor. The Queen of Cups. It's on the back of the deck. So 5 of Cups was on the back of the deck. Okay, so with this card that says to stay open to the good and beautiful things, and this 5 of Cups, it's indicating that you're focused too much on one particular thing, and that could go back to our initial discussion about your beauty. Sometimes we can get so focused in on tiny details, like let's say, for the sake of discussion, our appearance. Because it really seems like that's what you're really concerned about or really hurt about, because you feel like you're not good enough, you're not beautiful enough. And so you're really focusing in on that. And you're not seeing all of the other things, let's say, about you. Because it could be, in your life that are good. But I really feel like this is about how you see yourself, how you're looking at yourself. Well, you're only focused on this one aspect of you that you don't like, that you think isn't good enough. And then you're ignoring all of these other parts to you that are so wonderful, that really do deserve the light of day, to have your attention, And oftentimes when we put like hyper focus onto one particular thing, it blows it out of proportion to where you're not actually seeing clearly. And we see this beautiful sun card saying, be patient, it will come. And that really could have to do with whatever pursuit you're trying to achieve that you feel you're not good enough in. But it could also just have to do with, how you feel about your appearance, how you feel about yourself. As you shift your focus, and the Hangman is all about, a change in view, changing your perspective, changing where you're looking. The blown out of proportion perspective that you have on your appearance will start to level out. to where you can start to see it for what it actually is. You know, stay open to the good and beautiful things, to all of them that are there. Be open to exploring all of your good qualities and not just staying focused on your appearance that you think doesn't measure up, that you think isn't good enough. To me, this judgment card goes along with what this sun card is saying. Like, you know, this concept of rising up from the dead, you know, coming back to life, rising up to life at a new level. Be patient, it will come. Because when you're going through healing, you're not gonna look your best, you know? Like if you were in the hospital and you know, you're coming home but you're still needing to recover, like, you know, you're not gonna look like a supermodel. And there needs to be patience there. There needs to be an allowance for time there to take its course, for your healing to take its course. Sorry, there's yard work. I don't know if you can hear that. It's pretty loud. And really, I think that your situation is calling you for that change in perspective. Like, you're in this situation feeling like you're not beautiful enough, feeling like you're struggling, you know, to feel confident and to go after, you know, your ambition with courage. To help you change your perspective, because there are some things that you're holding on to that even if you did achieve the ambition that you have, that you want to go for and make happen, your perspective about yourself would cripple you. And so it's essential during this time to change how you see and where you're looking, so that when you go into more advanced a more advanced experience of your ambition, you're going to be steady and you're going to be able to feel abundant. You know, this Queen of Cups, really, the way that she looks makes it seem like she's just embraced all of life and who she is. And she's just celebrating and experiencing the fullness of that. There is no judgment. There is no self-hatred and feeling, you know, disappointed in herself. And no matter what you chase after, if you have this determined perspective of yourself of not being enough, you will never get to experience the fullness of what you chase after. There has to be that shift in perspective that helps you to start to see the whole thing. Because only then can you really get to experience all of what heaven would have you experience. But there is encouragement here. As you decide to shift your perspective on yourself, on how you look, Spirit is telling you, like, it's coming in. It's all coming in. Everything that you dream of, this ambition that you have, that you want to go after and feel confident going after, is all coming in. But we have this courage card in the beginning. And I think Spirit is really trying to convey that it takes courage to change the way that you see yourself. But nonetheless, it's needed. And Spirit is really encouraging you to take that courage, to step into it, be brave, choose to let this focus on your appearance go. So that these other things about you, can be seen, can be brought to light, can be shared with others. Your appearance is absolutely not as bad as you think. Look at this Queen of Cups. It's you. You're absolutely beautiful, but your hyper focus on your appearance makes you think that you're not. And you need to find the way within yourself to balance that, to help yourself see what other qualities there are within you that are just as beautiful. Let's get some more information. Let me use this other tarot deck. And how I can encourage you with this. How can we encourage pile number 3? Spirit. Oh, that's funny. Judgment came out again. Oh my god. It's at the back of the deck. 4 of Pentacles. Yeah, and look at this 4 of Pentacles. Because I think it kind of like conveys what you're doing. Okay? It's in a cave. All the wonder that is you. But it's in a cave, it's hidden. Look at these majestic crystals, indicating all the magnificence of who you are, all of it, and it's hidden. It's hidden away, and you're purposely hiding it. And irregardless from others' sight, you're hiding it from your sight. You don't want to see all of what you are. And this 9 of Pentacles, the way that it appears, she's, adjusting, so to speak, her sight. And here, the same thing is happening. The leaves are over her eyes. This blindfold is gone. And new sight is being established. You are the Queen of Cups. But you're ignoring all of the bounty within you to focus on a small thing that's blown out of proportion and not seen correctly. Adjust your sight. Get it clear so that you can see clearly who you are and what you can do. Let me get you a last oracle, because clearly tarot just wants to say that. Wants to say the same thing over again. And the message is, about will this get any better? And I think that it's up to you. This is all up to you, whether or not your situation gets any better, because it's your perspective that is making it the way that it is. It's your perspective that's making you feel miserable. And if you adjusted your sight and started to see all of what you are, your situation would immediately improve. But let me get you a last oracle to see if there are any further messages that we could get, any more messages of encouragement or insight into your situation and what you can do to help yourself. Okay, so at the back of the deck there is healing stones. Oh my god. At the behind the healing stone, underneath the healing stones, is good luck, which literally showed up for all three piles. So that's really encouraging. And then we have temple, the wisdom within, quiet external noise. Good luck, auspicious, wishes granted, blessings. And then the healing stones, tenderness, care, gentleness, nourishment. Yeah. I think that's really what you need. When you're harsh on yourself, especially with your appearance, you're in hell. And what you need the most is some love and care and encouragement and gentleness. And, maybe other people could show that to you, but if you're not showing that to yourself, it really would be hard to receive from others. And so the encouragement here is be kind to yourself. Treat yourself more gently. Recognize that, there's a lot of wisdom within you. And listening to that provides you with a beginning sense of stability within yourself. When you're judging yourself, you're not feeling safe with yourself. It creates an imbalance and an instability that shakes you up and makes you feel insecure. And so the call is to get connected to yourself. Find a way to be more gentle with yourself so that you can see all of what you are. See all of the magnificence hidden within you. And start to connect to it more, This card, the cup, right? It's all in the light. And it's time to, and that's the light of her attention, right? And that's what is being called here. Bring to light, to your attention, all of the magnificence that you are. Go within. Quiet the external noise of judgment and fear of judgment and worry about fitting in or not. And go within to see what you really are, the fullness of all that you are. Treating yourself gently, and heaven is clearly saying it will bring you auspicious times, wishes granted, and blessings. We saw that ambition card at the beginning. So you are ambitious. You do have some things that you want to achieve. So heaven is just saying, yeah, you want to achieve them and you're not seeing them yet. You're not seeing the results of your work because you're a little lopsided in your perspective. You're ignoring all of who you are, focusing on one thing. And it's creating a block. So through gentleness and going within, shifting your perspective, you will start to see that coming in. Remember, we saw this beautiful sun card. Sun card with the good luck, good fortune, okay? It's gonna come. It's on the way. The shift in your situation is on the way. But it's your responsibility to change your perspective in order to bring that about. And for you, the reason why that is because what you're going after, if you don't have the right perspective of yourself, it's going to be torturous and cripple you if you actually got into it. So heaven is protecting you from actually experiencing your ambition take shape and giving you the chance, to get your mind right so that you can handle it. Sometimes our ambitions, maybe we don't see the full aspect of what they could entail once we got into them. Maybe all you're seeing is just the positive and exciting aspect to it, but there will always be other sides. And when heaven holds you aloft from them, you have to start to look within and see, why is that? Are there some things about this that would torture me if in the present mindset that I'm in had to face them? Heaven is always about your empowerment. If what you're going after would disempower you, then that's not going to be constructive. That's not going to be beneficial, because you deserve empowerment and the ability to actually grow. And if what you're chasing won't bring that about for you, then of course it's not going to come in. Especially for you, because clearly heaven is protecting you. It really looks like there's something about you that is very important and very powerful. And heaven is protecting you so that you can get clear and get balanced, so that this ambition that you have can actually not only be beneficial to you, but through that right-mindedness, it can then be a huge benefit to everyone else. And that's why it's important to look at all of what we're going through and maybe why. Because it's not always, some kind of negative attack, that's keeping you from experiencing a good life. Sometimes it's protection. And sometimes, just with a shift in your perspective, a choice to see things differently, you would find that protection lifted and everything that you wanted pouring in. But you deserve to be blessed, and that's why you're being protected right now. So, it's clear what heaven has wanted to convey to you in this situation that you're struggling with. You can definitely shift your perspective with this. You can definitely start to balance out where you're looking. And it will bring in such good luck for you, such blessings. Be patient, it will come. Encourage yourself with that and go within to find the way not only to see yourself differently, but to see all of what you are. Because there's so much more in there that you're just not looking at that deserves your attention. So thank you so much for joining me today. I really hope that shed some light on your situation and gave you some comfort and encouragement. And I'll see you next time. Take care.